Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another election prediction. This time we have the 2024 House election prediction for the month of December 2023. So before I get into this video, if you aren't subscribed to the channel already, I would highly recommend doing so. We're getting closer and closer to hitting 1,000 subscribers. We're probably going to hit it in a couple more months, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel and just, especially if you enjoy just election predictions in general. I do them all the time. So I'm just going to get right into this video. Alright, we're going to start off with the states that are very likely to get redistricted, or have been already. We're just going to cover them. So, Alabama's second. They added a new black majority House seat to the Alabama House map. In the second district, I'm pretty sure it's like Biden plus 12 or plus 13. So, honestly, it'll probably just be a safe blue one, just over 10% victory there. Okay, going to North Carolina. The fair map that they used to have here has been demolished. It's pretty much been turned into a Republican gerrymander, netting them pretty much 3 to 4 seats potentially. So these things are not even going to be likely Republican. A lot of these Democrats are not going to run for re-election because, again, it's just not worth their time. It's just too much of a Republican-drawn district at this point for them. Even the first is made into like a Biden plus 2 district, so it'll definitely be a swing district. But I still think just Don Davis with black turnout, he'll still get enough to help him out in this district for a victory here. Okay, the next state. I think we could hit with Wisconsin. I kind of changed my thinking on this. Again, the Democrats are kind of running out of time to challenge this map. I understand they got to do the state legislature maps first. They got to redraw those. So that's a reason why they hadn't filed a challenge to this map yet. But I definitely do think this map will get redrawn into a 4-4 map. But it's debatable if it'll happen before the 2024 election. It could still happen, but it's looking like they're running out of time to challenge this map, and that other map challenge is taking a bit longer. So, again, I'm just going to wait till this redistricting challenge is actually in the courts in Wisconsin. So for now, I'm keeping these both as lean R seats. And yeah, these both have high potential of just being turned to likely to lean seats, the third and the first district. But for now, I'm just going to keep it as both Republican holds. I'm just going to be cautious about that. So Louisiana, it's pretty likely the map does get redrawn here. According to the federal district court here, I'm pretty sure they did order a redraw for the 5th district that turned into a black majority district, but it still won't be safe Democratic because I've seen maps that shown it as a pretty competitive district, even with 50% black population here. So this will probably just be a lean D flip for now. Georgia also has a potential redistricting challenge, but they could just turn the 7th district, I'm pretty sure, into a majority-minority district, because right now it's a slight majority-white district. So they could just redraw that to include more black voters. So it probably won't add another seat in Georgia, just based off that logic. Sorry, guys, I just had to sneeze. Okay. So let's keep on going here. What state should we start off with? I mean, I think we did hit all the redistricting states. Oh yeah, New York. It could get redistricted, but again, these judges, they overruled that previous map before, so I think it's more likely than not it doesn't happen. It's like a 55% chance it doesn't happen. So let's assume they're using the old map to make the 2nd district just safe Republican. Keep this one as likely. New York's 4th. D'Esposito, he's in a D plus 14 district. It's pretty very likely he just loses just due to how Democratic he is, and just down ballot turnout would just pretty much wipe him out. He only won because Republican turnout was super high compared to the low Democratic turnout in 2022. George Santos's old district, Tom Suozzi, he's running back for this seat. I think he's a slight favorite to win here. I'd give him about a 60% chance, I think. And Santos isn't running for re-election, and I still think that Santos' name in this district will drag down Republicans because they still nominated him. So I still think that we'll see a bit of a residual effect and voters would probably punish the Republicans here for even nominating him. The 18th district with Pat Ryan, he's lucky because it's a presidential year. He'll get more Democratic turnout here. The 22nd district, it's a likely blue district, and Williams is just not acting moderate at all like Molinaro and Lawler. So he has no chance at winning here for sure. Molinaro, on the other hand, it's in a very narrow Biden district upstate. It typically is pretty bipartisan, this district, and he acts bipartisan in Congress, so I think he holds on here. The 17th district will definitely be the most competitive race on this map, in my opinion. Lawler's an actually pretty strong opponent, and Mondaire Jones is running against him. But then again, with higher Democratic turnout, I still think he narrowly loses here. But this will be the most competitive district in the country. But then again, he doesn't have Lee Zeldin, or he doesn't have it as a midterm year to hold on. It'll be pretty tough for him to survive it, which is why I have him losing. Okay. I think we should do the Blue Dog Democrats now. So Jared Golden, again, he has come out in favor of banning assault weapons in his district ever since a shooting occurred in Maine. So it's possible that hurts him. Instead of him winning by a likely blue margin, it would probably shift it down to a more competitive lean blue margin. I still think he holds on. He's still a very popular Democrat, but that position of guns would definitely hurt him in a rural district like Maine's 2nd. Who knows? This could be a possible Republican flip, even. In Connecticut's district, Connecticut's 5th. Let me just get a zoom in on that. Again, Johanna Hayes, he kind of frequently underperforms the top of the ticket. In 2022, we saw her pretty much underperform the Senate Democrat here by quite a lot, so I think that'll definitely hold true for the next election here. She'll definitely underperform Biden, but it's still a very Democratic district. But she'll only win by a lean margin. It'll still be just as close as it was last time. Okay, let's head to Texas next. Those 3 House seats. So again, for the 15th district, it's still a pretty Republican district. R+3, I think it'll be a Republican hold. In the 34th district with Gonzalez, he's facing a rematch with the former Republican candidate. I still think it's likely blue. Henry Keeler, very popular incumbent. I still think he holds on by a likely blue margin. So really nothing changes in Texas. Okay, let's head to Nevada next. So Nevada has 2 House seats that are open, competitive seats, I would say. The 4th, the Democrats pretty much effectively gerrymandered here to ensure it really never gets that competitive. But I have Nevada's 1st and Nevada's 3rd as both lean blue seats. Again, some polls have shown Trump is doing pretty well in the Las Vegas area, getting better margins there, so it'll probably be a bit more of a competitive race in both these House districts. In Nebraska's 2nd, just because Biden's doing worse in the national polls, I think that actually drags him down a bit in Nebraska's 2nd. Instead of him winning by a likely blue margin, he probably only win it by a lean blue. And that's good news for Don Bacon. It gives him more of a chance to win over less crossover voters than he had to before. So I would have this as a Republican hold as of right now. And in neighboring Iowa's 3rd, I would also have this as a Republican hold. I really don't think Democrats have a good shot at flipping this either. In Montana's 1st, Zink, I don't think he'll lose. Even though Tester will boost Democratic hopes in this district, it won't be enough to overcome its partisan lean. In Colorado, I think the 8th is a Democratic hold. It could even go to likely blue, honestly. But I'm going to put it as lean blue for now as just a cautious take here. Even though the Democrat won here by about a tilt blue margin, so it does show some competitiveness, and Biden didn't win here by a likely blue margin. I'm just going to keep it as lean blue for now. The 3rd district with Lauren Boebert. There's a libertarian running in her race as of right now, so that definitely hurts Republicans' chances here, and considering she barely won last time, and this district is actually trending Democratic, I actually think the Democrats flip this district, and she's facing a rematch from the same strong opponent, so she's the underdog right now. I think she's not favored to win there. Let's go into neighboring New Mexico. So they only have one competitive district, I would argue, and it is another rematch, I'm pretty sure. But again, Vasquez, he's lucky that the Democrats did a pretty solid gerrymander here. I think he still holds on by a lean blue margin, and he has incumbency advantage now. So he even has more of an advantage here than he did last time. In California, a bunch of competitive districts. Let's just try to get a zoom in on this. Okay, so the 41st district, I think it's a Republican hold. The 40th, it's a trending Republican district. Same with the 45th. I also think it's a Republican hold. The 49th, incumbency advantage will definitely help out Mike Levin here. And the 47th, it's a competitive House district. It's an open seat, but I still think Democrats are quite favored here. It's still a Democratic-leaning seat after all. It's quite the Democratic-leaning seat, actually. 11 points in favor of Biden. Wow. But it'll still be decently competitive. I agree with the ratings on the 3rd and the 9th. It seems about right, both likely seats. The 27th, I think Garcia actually holds on again, just because Biden's doing a tiny bit worse in the well, not a tiny bit, a bit worse in the California polls. I think that actually helps Mike Garcia. He has to win less crossover voters just because Biden's doing worse in California. In the 13th district, John Duterte, and the 22nd, the Republicans only won here because of low turnout in 2022. With much higher Democratic turnout, I think they're both kind of just going to lose here. I don't think they have the greatest odds at winning. And we could just look at how Democratic they are. D plus 11, D plus 13. I mean, pretty tough margins to win by there, and they're probably going to lose just because of higher turnout. So 207 to 210 currently. In Alaska at large, Mary Patola, she's a very popular Democrat in this district. I don't see her losing. Even against a good Republican opponent, I still think she wins re-election here. She's pretty much built an effective brand at this point. In Washington's 3rd district with Marie Perez, we're going to get a zoom and just show you the partisan lean of it. So it's a Trump district by 4 points. But we also have to consider that she pretty much outperformed the Senate candidate here by quite a bit. So she has already shown she's able to win over independents and crossover voters. She's pretty much established herself as a blue dog Democrat like Mary Patola and Jared Golden and Matt Cartwright at this point. So I do think indeed we'll be able to win here by a lean blue margin. She's done a pretty good job in Congress of pretty much making herself more popular in this district. The 4th district, I'm putting this as a solidly safe blue district. The 6th, I'm going to keep as likely blue. Again, we look at the partisan leans and how they did in the House races here. The reason I'm putting it only as likely blue, even though this district is more Democratic, is because she did underperform the House race here, only winning it by 2.5. DeRimmer, Oregon's 5th, will probably be one of the more competitive House races in the country. It's a rematch again, but this time it'll be a lot higher turnout. There won't be a governor election, boosting Republicans' chances in Oregon. And just with higher Democratic turnout, I still think that the Democrats will be able to unseat DeRimmer here by a narrow margin. We're almost done with the West. We're just going to finish off in Arizona. So with Arizona 6, it's a narrow Biden district, but again, Biden's only narrowly winning Nevada, or sometimes even losing the polls in, not Nevada, Arizona to Trump. So just based on how Biden's pretty much underperforming in Arizona, I think the Republicans will be able to hold on Arizona 6, but I think with Schweikart, I think he's in a lot of danger here, actually losing. Democrats even gave up on this race earlier on, and it was still tilt Republican. So I think it's a narrow Democratic flip in this district. So a 5-4 House delegation in Arizona again. In Minnesota, I would put this as a lean blue district for now. I mean, it's still like a Biden district with 5 points, so I don't think Republicans will be able to flip it. Let's head to Virginia next. They got a few races to cover. So in Virginia, there's a lot of retirements, and it'll definitely keep the 10th as a likely blue district. The 2nd, I think it'll be a Republican hold. Because, again, I don't think Biden's doing as well as in Virginia than he did in 2020. So that's my reasoning for her holding on here. And she has incumbency advantage as well. And it's not even that Democratic of a district anyway. It's probably one of the easier ones for the Republicans to hold. The 7th will be the more competitive race, but I have this as a lean Democratic hold. Even though there isn't an incumbent running here, it'll still be very high Democratic turnout in an election year, and I think Democrats will hold on here in the 7th. Let's head to New Jersey with their only competitive race. I think these both likely blue races are just safe blue. I don't think the Republicans have much chances of actually flipping them. They're still extremely Democratic districts either way. But with Tom Keene, his family has a legacy in New Jersey. He's been acting decently bipartisan in Congress, so I do think he'll be able to get enough crossover voters in this narrow Biden district to win another term. Let's head to Ohio next. Again, the first district, it's quite the Democratic one, so I have this one as likely blue. Marcy Kaptur, she may be facing a rematch against J.R. Majewski again, and he was a very terrible candidate. And she's a very long time incumbent, so I still think she wins re-election here. Even when Trump probably wins this district again, she'll still get a lot of crossover voters. In Ohio 13th with Emily Sykes, it'll definitely be a very close race. It's only a narrowly Biden-won district. And considering that Trump probably might do better than he did in 2020 in Ohio, it's definitely going to be a fight for her to hold on. But I still think she'll be able to narrowly hold on to re-election here. Okay, let's just take a zoom out. What states are we missing? Pennsylvania and Michigan. I guess we'll do Michigan first. Save Pennsylvania for last. So with John James, he's a pretty strong incumbent. He's shown that he's quite the decent candidate. Even though he underperformed in 2022, that was just because the Republicans did terrible in the governor race. I still think he holds on to re-election here. He's proven he's a battle-tested candidate still. The 8th District and the 7th District, both are open seats, which are bad news for Democrats. For example, if Trump wins the state of Michigan, he probably for sure wins both these districts back, putting them dangerously close to regaining the House of Representatives. But for now, let me just put these back to toss-up seats. I would have the 8th as a lean blue seat for now. I do think it's still a narrowly Biden-leading district, but again, I do think Biden's probably favored to win Michigan still, and I would still keep this in his column. The 7th district, however, it's a lot more of a Biden-leaning district, and considering that Biden's doing a lot worse in the Michigan polling than he was in 2020, I only have this as a very close race, and I actually think the Republicans are favored to flip this seat as of right now. Even though the state party in Michigan for Republicans isn't super successful, I think they'll get lucky here just because Biden's doing worse, and they'll be able to flip Michigan 7th as of right now if the election were held today, which is the standard I use to judge these predictions. Okay, let's head to Pennsylvania. So the 17th District with Chris Deluzzo, he's a pretty populist Democrat. I actually think he'll pretty much outperform expectations. I think he'll win by a likely blue margin or so. Matt Cartwright, again, this guy, he won in the 2016 election when Hillary lost the state of Pennsylvania. So he's shown he's able to outperform the Democratic nominee time and time again in a Trump +3 district. So I still think he actually narrowly holds on here, even if Trump wins the state of Pennsylvania. In the 7th district, Susan Wild will be in for a more competitive race. She definitely underperformed Matt Cartwright here. But again, I still think she'll be able to narrowly hold on here. So we have a 220-seat House for the Democrats to 215. The Democrats narrowly flip the House of Representatives due to redistricting, getting them 2 more seats in Alabama and Louisiana. And they could potentially even get a New York redraw, eliminating a lot more Republicans. So the House is still up for grabs. I would still say the Democrats are the favorites, so win it. 58% chance of a Democratic House and 42% chance of a Republican House. Thanks so much for watching the video. Leave a comment down below if you disagree with any of these races, and let me know your feedback about this video. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.